Welcome, everyone, to the Energy Advisors Podcast. I'm your host, Rex, that Energy Guy. Glad to have you with us today, listening in. I got a really important topic to cover, and I call it Protect Yourself, the AI arms race. But before we go there, I'd like to mention our partners in the show. This has grown enormously. And so I want to mention that. And we actually have some new ones coming on. So without them, we can't do this. It's their partnerships that make this happen and allow us to deliver education insights. Okay. So our first partner is our friends over at Powur. If you want to do rooftop solar, these are the guys that cover most of the United States. Ethics training, a network of over 6,000 professionals who will help you get the right solution for your needs. Also, our friends over at Universal Wind Kinetics. If you have not looked at micro wind technology, you need to do that. There's been advancements in that platform that really make micro wind technology a very affordable and great power generation system. Our friends over at Mentis Technologies, these guys are amazing. They're bringing standardization to the industry and licensure for all the renewable energy technologies. And so you wouldn't buy a house from an unlicensed realtor. You wouldn't get a mortgage from an unlicensed mortgage company. So why would you make an investments in renewable energies without licensed and checked partners? So that's important. And our last sponsor today, because we're adding more into the show here, those will be announced the next couple of days, is our friends over at Go Green Community Initiative. I love what they're doing. They're helping people get non-biased, factual information so they can make intelligent choices about their renewable tech choices. There's a lot of bad stuff out there in the marketplace. People are using bad tactics and actually sometimes unethical things. And so I don't want to accuse somebody of being a liar, but it's out there. So that's it. And take a look at those. You can go to the website, energyadvisors.today, and we'll get you connected to any of those of our partners. Okay. All right. Today, this is an interesting topic, and it impacts everyone that's connected to the grid. So unless you are off the grid, you will be impacted by this. And I call this protect yourself. Okay. It is very important. Now more than ever, you need to be looking at energy independence and get there as fast as possible. So I spent 35 years in the technology industry. I understand all of the things that go on before we had software as a service. So cloud-based, internet-based software, everything was done on premise. So like back in the days when we used to sell big systems, you had to stand up a server at your office, your own storage, your connections. It was all on premise. Well, in 1999, which is now 25 years ago, the first company that offered up a SaaS-based solution at scale was our friends over at Salesforce.com. Mark Benioff and his crew started this, and look where they are today. They're the world's leader in CRM solutions. And so that was 1999. Now, what that means for those who are not technical people, they have a server farm, and that's located in one location, and everybody uses their browsers to connect to that server. Okay, that's where they also have their storage, so they can back up the application and make sure everything's running correctly. And in those large data centers, they have failover, so they'll have hundreds or maybe even thousands of servers. So when people are hitting the system, that the CPUs, the processing, can be distributed across lots of servers, and you have that. Well, those consume a lot of power, but it's nothing like what's happening today. All right. So that gives us some background. Okay. Now, take a look at this. A typical AI transaction. So let's say you use ChatGPT, or you go out and you grab one of these platforms that creates videos. I've used those, or people that will write things for you. And if you think about it, there are thousands of companies offering solutions and software now that use AI. The reason they can do this is it accelerates decisions, it accelerates content creation, and actually accelerates code. So there's a big arms race going on here, and let me tell you behind the scenes, okay? Nearly every large tech company is building AI farms, and it is far greater than anybody ever estimated. So let's run down some of the characters, some of the people in the play. IBM, one of the world's oldest computer companies, they have AI clouds that are doing. Amazon Web Services, a lot of people don't know that Amazon's in the online business. So Amazon Web Services building huge farms. One of their locations now has 1,200 acres. Microsoft, oh boy, are they in the business. And they've actually built a server farm that is right next to a nuclear power plant. Okay. Dell Computer is doing this, Oracle, SAP, everybody's doing this. And so their play in this is they're going to run the servers that the AI runs on. But it takes an enormous amount of power. I mean, an enormous amount of power. And as people are looking around, I've read articles, I've researched, I've talked to friends in the industry. It's way more than people understand because the use of AI is so innovative and works so well that it's just going to explode. And unfortunately, it's going to get rid of a lot of jobs for content creation, analysis, things like that. But that's not the topic here. All right. Before AI came along, we were already having challenges with the grid. I mean, if you look down in Texas, and for one example, power companies are essentially saying, whoops, we're going to have outages this summer. We don't have enough electricity. Now, I've already done a podcast regarding the grid and how it's managed and all this stuff, but I want to get back into that. Okay. What you're seeing here is this enormous drain of power is going to really cause problems locally for your home and your businesses if you're a business owner. And you don't have to be a homeowner. We're talking this is going to impact everyone. So it's time to protect yourself, okay? You need to get a plan. You need to be protecting yourself from this outage problem that's going to continue to grow. There has not been enough build out and basically capacity added to the grid that can support this. Okay. And these outages are not going to be just in certain states. They're going to be all over the place. And so if you want to protect yourself, let's talk about things you would protect yourself. Okay. Let's see. I live here in Colorado. That's where the show emanates. Power company shut the power down to avoid a wildfire like they had. And it took them 4 days to get back. Endless amount of stories where people actually couldn't run their refrigerator, lost hundreds of dollars in their refrigerator and their freezers, can't charge their cell phones, they have critical medical devices, on and on and on. Okay. If you have a power outage for that lasts more than 24 hours, that's a bad thing. Okay, because you're going to lose a lot of things. And you may not have enough friends and family to go and take your food somewhere else, charge your cell phones. People really take this for granted. So I just want to get out there in this message. You really need to take care of yourself. You really need to protect yourself. So how do you do that? Okay. There are a lot of technologies available that will help you conserve, better manage, and then also generate your own power. And my recommendation to people is that you get on the path to energy independence. Not only will this save you money, but you'll get to a point where you can operate your life without interruption when the power grid starts to struggle, and it's going to struggle. Now, I'm not some crazy wacko. I don't have this. I don't have a bomb shelter in my backyard and thousands of rounds of ammo or any of those types of things. But the key components you're going to need is you need to look at all of the things that you can do to conserve. That'll save you money. Better manage, so looking at replacing systems and more efficient things so you use less power. But most importantly, what you're going to do to generate power. Solar, portable solar, micro wind technology, and of course, storage. Now, storage is important because if you have an outage, you're going to need a place to get the backup because if you implemented some of these other technologies, solar, micro wind, portable solar, you may not have enough power generation to meet your needs. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to have some storage in place. Now, There are lots of professionals that can help you with this, but you have to be careful. You want to make sure that you work with licensed professionals. Again, I talked about that earlier with our relationship with our friends at Mentis. The industry is starting to self-license, and that's important because, like I said, you wouldn't buy a house from an unlicensed realtor. Why would you put your energy in the hands of someone who's not licensed? Okay. So again, I'll get off my soapbox, but it's really important for you as a consumer, and this is going to impact everyone, to protect yourself. Okay. And then also protect yourself from the crazy people pushing solutions that may not be best for you. This industry, again, in all full disclosure, I do business and do consulting in the renewable energy space. There's a lot of bad actors out there. So you want to really be careful. And that's why we have our partnership with our friends over at To Go Green Community Initiative. All right. So, okay, have a better day. I'm not here to scare you. All right. It's really important because all the estimates are way off. Okay. The power consumption is more than anybody expected, and it's because of this arms race. If you're old enough to remember when there was an arms race between the Soviet Union and the United States to build up nuclear weapons, this is that type of arms race, except it's bigger and it's going to impact everything. All right, so that's what I got for today. Thanks for tuning in. If you're listening on the video platforms, don't forget to subscribe and hit the notifications. If you are following us on the podcast platforms, and oh, by the way, we've got another country. We've got listeners in 16 countries now. Please follow the podcast. So until next time, I want to say to you, thanks and make it a great day.